Question: I wonder if you could please speak a little bit about Christic qualities and characteristics of the male and female. As we are working on the hierogamic template of the sacred union within, I think many of us would like some more clarity on what this may look like. Beyond the gender distortions, what does a monad embodied female or male on Earth look like? I know everyone is an individual, but I feel some general outlines may be helpful. Thank you so much for all you are and for all you do. Answer: thank you. This is a fantastic question, and certainly worth sharing more dialogue, to explore how we each can make productive movements forward, into this positive direction, to develop Christic qualities. The first step is recognizing that we must strengthen our moral character to cultivate trustworthy behaviors within ourselves, and within all of the communications and interactions we have in any kind of relationship we are having. We want to know how to create a strong spiritual foundation so that we may increase our self-esteem and spiritual connection, which grows from the bond of trust we have created within ourselves. We must develop feelings of trust inside ourselves, be discerning to the qualities of trustworthiness, before we are capable to trust others and discern between what is truth and what is deception. It is important to know that building trust is the core essence of creating deeper intimacy and connection with all things, in yourself, in relationships, with spirit, and in connecting directly with the God source. In order to discern trustworthiness, we need to observe non-judgmentally the positive behaviors and actions in people that increase trust, and we also need to understand the negative behaviors and actions that break down trust. When a person promotes negative behaviors that break down and erode trust, at the same time, that person is breaking down and eroding all their energetic connections. Many people wonder why they feel so isolated and disconnected inside and in their relationships, while they have automatic negative patterns of behavior that break down the trust frequency in their lives. Finding truth and authenticity is that which builds inner and outer connection, and this connection requires knowing and promoting the powerful frequency of building trust. We want to focus on building our character, so that we know the difference between these behaviors, both positive and negative, and what we are really creating in our energy signature through our behaviors, and the result these behaviors have upon the quality of our lives. To increase the quality of our life and to feel more connected, we choose behaviors that build trust inside ourselves, and further build trust with others. This awareness as a daily practice with conscious participation will increase the trust frequency in our auric field, and this frequency of trust to circulate into our lives. As we practice this with ourselves, those people who do not resonate with trustworthy behaviors will fall away, while those people that are resonating to qualities of trustworthiness, will be attracted. These are the exact same virtues we will need to value, before we can really increase our human and spiritual connection, as well as deepen intimacy. Being clear and authentic requires we have a truthful and intimate connection with our authentic self. When this quality of intimacy is present within the self, we can develop deep intimate bonds and connections with others. This is a key to healthy and balanced relating. We are entering a new cycle with new timelines. This allows for greater support to amplify our inner spiritual sun, and this is the source frequency that supports the building, amplifying and strengthening of our spiritual source light. This helps us to truly know more intimately who we are, and to build more trust with that process. With this added amplification and power, the influence of our focused and clear mind, directing loving and kind heart vibrations into the environment, is also creating an influence in the collective consciousness field at heightened levels. This helps to align us to more people that are heart-centered, and desire to build the frequency of trust in their lives. As we study the Law of One practices, the Relationship Mastery Guidelines, Self-Awareness Guidelines and GSF behaviors, one will find the keynote of all of these positive behaviors is about building trustworthiness, as we develop and cultivate these qualities in ourselves. This helps us to establish patterns to which we can learn to develop more skill with compassionate communication, discerning qualities of energy rather than making ego judgments, so that we can be more successful while exercising personal choice and consent, when exposed to conflicts or chaotic forces. Thus, we are learning how to create more enjoyable and trustworthy relationships that feel more connected, intimate and joyful. Nonviolent communication, NVC, practices are extremely helpful in their basic philosophy to build the frequency of trust which closely resembles the Christic signature. The emphasis of the NVC perspective is similar, however, they do not incorporate the spiritual consciousness development model that we have to describe the ascension process. The NVC baseline is an agreement to a shared perspective between people that value a humanitarian philosophy. That humanitarian philosophy is chosen as a value system for one's lifestyle and behaviors, and it is assumed in that agreement that the core characteristics exist, and are inherently connected, to all human beings. All human beings share the basic same needs. Our world offers sufficient resources for meeting everyone's basic needs. All actions are attempts to meet needs. Feelings point to needs being met or unmet. All human beings have the capacity for compassion. Human beings enjoy giving, and enjoy being acknowledged, valued, for who they are. Human beings meet needs through many interdependent relationships. Human beings change and transform. Choice is internal. The most direct path to peace is through self-connection, i.e. consciousness development. This humanitarian life philosophy is met with focused intentions to express communication and behaviors with an open and kind heart, that is congruent with these values. Open-hearted living. Self-compassion, expressing from the heart. Receiving with compassion. Prioritizing connection. Moving beyond right and wrong, to using needs-based assessments. Choice, responsibility, peace. Taking responsibility for our feelings. Taking responsibility for our actions. Living in peace with unmet needs, acceptance. Increasing capacity for meeting needs. Increasing capacity for meeting the present moment. Sharing power and resources, partnership. Caring equally for everyone's needs, group consciousness. Using force minimally and to protect, defend, rather than to superimpose beliefs, punish, or get what we want without mutual agreement. Christic qualities have also been described in the GSF behaviors from the ES Guardian perspective, as the antidote to archontic deception egoic behavior, that is the result from mind control programming, lack of knowledge and lack of self-awareness. Our first practice in modeling GSF behavior, or God Sovereign Free, is that we apply empathy and compassion towards ourselves and other people, which are behaviors that intrinsically build trust on the inner and outer landscape. When we have truly developed the heart quality of empathy and compassion, it will result in kind behaviors with other people, as empathy develops the heart-based virtue of kindness. People that are extraordinarily kind, will also be extremely empathic and compassionate. GSF, empathy and compassion, we feel connection to life and we have compassion for others that feel pain and stress, because we can empathize and relate to the same kind of sensory feelings and emotions in ourselves. We care about what happens to all of life and living things, whether it's the earth, human beings, animals, nature, plants, or trees. We realize that we are a part of something much larger than ourselves, and we have kindness and caring for ourselves and others. We know in the ascension cycle, that the chaos in the ending cycle is very confusing, painful and challenging for many. When we take this humanitarian perspective, and have this compassionate understanding, we do not want to contribute to creating more harm and pain in the world, as there is already a tremendous amount. Thus, we do not allow ourselves to intentionally harm others, or run self-martyrdom programs, to superimpose our beliefs on others, and we recognize that we have an energetic sphere of influence in the world. When these skills of empathy and compassion are mastered as a way of everyday life, they are much easier to apply in any kind of intimate relating, such as within the husband-wife, partner, spouse, or boyfriend or girlfriend, the alchemical union. Some changes that are unique in these types of Christic partnerships extend further to opening dialogues for extremely deep transparency, and having honesty and intuitive knowing in the evolving dynamics of the intimate relationship. This kind of intimate spiritual relationship is ever evolving and multidimensional. Some key descriptors of building trust and developing a strong Christic union. Interactions and communications between the partners is maintained with mutual respect, honoring of others' needs and expressing all feelings with transparency. There is nothing that is intentionally hidden, used as deception, contrived or manipulated. It is the acceptance of both people to be as they are, authentic and true to their feelings in the moment. If there is pain buried in the subconscious mind, it will surface and both parties will gently recognize that when it occurs, and then establish the guidelines of bringing that subconscious material into conscious awareness, and reconciliation, through loving and open dialogue. It is important for couples to have clarity, and to be committed to that clarity, to further develop trust and to prevent misunderstandings. Ambiguity and confusion in communication, or the lack of communication, is an energetic weakness and vulnerability that will weaken the couple. Therefore, there must be a sincere mutual desire to create and develop consistent energetic clarity and honesty, in order to continue to evolve the relationship via building the trust frequency. Compassionate, clear, and loving communications are ever present and circumstances are engaged within present-time awareness, as it is possible. Love is never withheld from either parties in the coupling. There is no sarcasm, hitting below the belt, internal or external types of violence that play out in communication. Communications and behaviors are always safe as they are based on mutual trust and integrity to speak the truth from an open heart, and willingness to be emotionally vulnerable and intimate. Safe communications means that each person commits to holding non-judgmental and compassionate space even in the rawest and most emotionally challenging material that requires processing, that most couples tend to avoid. The inspiration to serve, love and give to your partner's spiritual development and personal mission, their health, happiness, and well-being, is a natural expression that emanates from selfless giving and the inner sustained nourishment one receives from connection and intimacy. Emotional issues and energetic conflicts are calmly and accurately represented in the opening of dialogue that has the purpose to expand clarity and are devoid of drama, blame or exaggeration. Events are inquired upon to prevent misunderstandings and the circumstances are seen for what it is, and not taken personally or as an offense. Couples know they are committed to the truth and play on the same team, they are together to create a mutually loving, enjoyable, and peaceful environment for each other. Purposeful direction of each partner's resources, their time, energy, attention, and such, are studied, explored and discussed on equal terms. Resources are shared by both parties as individual beings and as collaborative energetic projects that are openly discussed as the proper use of the couple's combined proceeds. Big investments are shared decisions that are made in positive energetic alignment to the couple's overall purpose, development, or well-being. Peace, harmony, friendship, and nourishment in an oasis setting, which is the result of the peaceful couples feel together, creates the energetic quality, and defines the deeply intimate and connected feeling in these spiritual relationships. Any type of verbal, mental, emotional, or physical abuse is non-existent. Expectations are not present in this relationship. This is replaced with a natural energetic flow of balance which both parties assume active-passive exchanges, which are ever evolving, and changing to suit the environmental needs and tasks at hand. There is no such thing as harping on your partner to do chores, because each one shares the responsibility to keep the mutual space comfortable and peaceful for both parties. When there is no power imbalance present in the couple, each one thinks of themselves as participating equals. Both partners are concerned about being present in the relationship, nourishing each other, and wanting to show up for each other, as this lavishes the qualities of personal happiness upon the couple. What you give lovingly and in service to your partner, you will receive in return 1,000-fold. Nonverbal communication, such as telepathy, psychic impressions, and awareness of the environmental conditions are experienced by both partners. If one partner hurts, the other partner can feel the nature of the energetic pain. This creates more responsibility in the integrity of shared actions, as both parties are dramatically impacted by the energetic dynamics. All forms of shared intimacy are nourishing and enjoyable, and are energetically harmonizing and healing for both parties. Both parties are receiving energetically balanced nourishment, and therefore there is never a rejection or emotional aloofness required to create boundary. All forms of expressed affection, kindness, and loving appreciation between the partners are omnipresent. Mystery, seduction, and charisma do not have a place in the transparency and clarity that is required in a Christic relationship. Intimate bonding is stemming from the unconditional love that is based on mutually clear, open, and honest assessments of circumstances, and that which impacts both partners. Archetypes of drama such as fantasy projections, overly romanticized ideals, addictions, hero and damsel in distress, savior and martyr have no place in this relationship. Clearly these are new relationship templates being created on this planet, and they take an advanced skill set in the basic tools to clear negative ego, building the trust frequency, before this can be experienced and achieved in the intimate partner setting. It is important to realize this kind of clarity and trust within a relationship can be experienced. We can honor the relationships that we have had in our lifetime, that have been necessary lessons to build our character. We know these patterns in the past have given us the opportunity to cultivate the wisdom that is required to create successful spiritual-based relationships in the future. Every relationship is an opportunity to gain deeper self-energetic mastery and self-knowledge. Every relationship is an important stepping stone in our spiritual consciousness development. It is the reclamation of our energetic pieces, which leads to inner energetic balance. Further, this is leading us to achieve inner and outer sacred union, or what we call the unified energetic state, between the male and female, that is the hieros gamos. To establish mental discipline, in order to cultivate and develop more of GSF, or Christic qualities, here are some suggested tools. Step 1. Develop self-awareness of inner and outer dialogues, through the witness. Refocusing mental perception from negative thoughts, to its positive polarity through unconditional love and forgiveness towards the self and others. Note, focusing on positive thoughts to replace negative thoughts are the first stage of ego discipline. The second stage is applying neutrality or neutral association through sustained focus, as an inner quiet found during meditation. This is because many people in ego behavior misrepresent neutrality as dissociative reaction to external events or others' feelings. Disassociation and neutrality is not the same state of consciousness. One is disconnected from circumstances, while the latter is connected through awareness, through observer. This is called engaged detachment. Step 2. Apply these practices when interacting with family, friends, and interpersonal relationships. Tools: compassionate witnessing, relationship mastery, 12 keys to self-awareness, daily mental body tools, GSF behaviors. ES Core Triad Practice, the Crystal Aegis section. Step 3. Apply these practices when interacting with colleagues, businesses, and external organizations of which you are a part. This is the process of learning how to apply these positive thought processes and communication skills to a community or group dynamic. Tools: relationship mastery, self-awareness, compassionate witness, mental body tools, GSF behaviors, ES Core Triad Practice, and the Crystal Aegis section. Step 4. Take steps to clear and heal your emotional state, as well as the mind, body, and spirit. When you recognize inner pain, or inner violence towards self or others, it is important to inquire on the nature and source of the pain or fear that you feel. Continue to develop skill set to transcend pain and fear, and improve communication skills and lifestyle habits. We have a bevy of tools here in energeticsynthesis.com to help with that process. May we come to know the strength, protection, and peace of God on the earth. Until next, stay in the luminosity of your avatar Christ heart path. Please be kind to yourself and each other, GSF. With a loving heart, Lisa.